Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are back with another Brooklyn Night Enterprises / Brooklyn Night Facebook live event. And this event is very important to me. I'm hoping that for whoever tunes in, it will be very useful and the conversation will, give you information that you need if you are an author. That's pretty much my goal for 2021. I really wanted to. My goal is to up my game, to level up, if you will, and part of that is really understanding, the process of writing, the process of publishing, and the process of marketing. Anybody who's an author who's listening knows that there are so many hats that we wear. We write, but then we have to take that hat off and we have to push our content. And so today I am talking to two individuals who this is what they do. This is their area of expertise. And I'm excited to talk to Barbie Pomales, and Katara. And we had another PA who she may come. If she does, we will definitely get her on board. But I'm excited to introduce these guys to you today. So I'm going to start off with my regular theme music. All right, and welcome to the Brooklyn Night Show. The first thing I want to do, because I always forget this, I need to get these commercials out today. So I'm going to start off by talking about 15 weeks to publish. That is my writing course. We are moving into cohort 4. I'm super excited about it because to date, there have been so many authors that have come through this writing program and their books are out there. They've gained readers, but not only that, they have actually learned the process of writing. And that's pretty much what I like to do. I like to teach people what I know. And that's what we do through 16 weeks to published. Our information session is next week, Saturday. So if you are interested, if you have a story to tell, then I encourage you, hit me up. You can hit me up in the comments. You can hit me up in the instant messaging, and I will get that information to you. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is this book, which dropped a couple of weeks ago by Trevina Terry, Furtive. It's hot. I am currently reading it, as you guys know. Well, may not know, but I'm super busy. And I started this book. I had to rip myself away from this book, but on Amazon, it looks like it's hot. The comments indicate that it is hot. This is Furtive by Trevina Terry. You need to go to Amazon and download this book because it looks like it's a hot commodity. Okay, so those things are out of the way. I want to introduce to you guys these amazing individuals. And it looks like my third PA has shown up. Hi, Amanda. She is actually under the weather. So I am super grateful that she has come on because, she sacrificed her time and she was resting, but she is here with us. I'm excited to get to this. So let's start with Katara. Go to Amanda, go to Barbie. You guys just introduce yourselves. 1 second, Katara, we can't hear you. There you go. I hear you now.
Okay, so hi, I'm Katara Johnson. I am, I like to call myself a promoter that also does VPA duties as well. And it's great working with everyone. We're working with my authors, and I am honored that Brooklyn invited me on here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Amanda, tell the world who you are.
I have been doing PA services for about 5 years now. I started off with just street teams, and then I moved on to wanting to help others more on a more personal level and help them grow. And so that's where my venture began.
Awesome. And I can't wait to get into that adventure. It's going to be really good. Barbie, tell us who you are.
She on mute.
Hi, my name is Barbie Pomales. I've been a PA for at least 2 years now. I started just being a regular reader, and from there, I started to develop my PA VA skills. I really enjoy it. It's challenging. It's a great job to have, and I'm excited that Brooklyn invited me here as well.
All right, and Apopa Speaks, go ahead and tell us or remind everyone who you are, because you are a staple.
Yeah, I'm just Apopa Speaks, the co-host. I'm an author, a reverend, some other things. And I've made a PA at multiple times of my life. So I'm just really excited to know how one embarks on the PA journey. So I'm actually here learning tonight.
All right, well, let's get into it. So Katara started by saying that she is a promoter, but she does some PA/VA duties. You guys, what is the difference between a PA, a promoter, and also a VA? Because I've heard those terms. Is there a difference between those three terms?
Okay. Yeah, there is. A PA works more hand to hand with the author, not just promoting. And ladies, correct me, help me out. They help them out with if they need if in their groups, they help them out with other types of marketing and getting contact with others and getting in contact to where they can advertise their books. A promoter, what I do is I promote books on different Facebook groups. I also do Twitter, and I also do Instagram as well. So I just work at just the promoting, getting the book out there so other people can see it and know that it's out there. So, but a PA and I believe VPA, they work more closely with the authors, and I think they work on newsletters as well.
Amanda or Barbie, anything to add? What are your thoughts about that? Is there a difference between a PA, a VA, and a promoter?
I'll go first. I think there's a huge difference in what a PA and a promoter does. I think promoters are just going to be posting in groups for an author, and a PA works more closely with the author. We talk about what takeovers to do, or I manage takeovers. It's one of the things I do. I find opportunities for authors. Example, if I have a contact who's a podcaster and my author has a new book out, it's a good way to promote your book to a different audience. But there's a difference in like the duties that a promoter and PA does. PA is more heavily involved with the author. I do newsletters, takeovers, graphics if needed. Trying to name things on the top of my head that I do. And basically, I'm always in contact with the author, and they tell me what's going on, whether personal or professionally related. That's what I think.
I like that. I like how you mentioned the personal, because it sounds like you're there for the author regardless of what's going on. So if the author is stressed, you can be that listening ear. So there's that relationship that develops. Like I met Barbie, was it last year at IRAE? I don't know if it was last year or a year before. It's COVID, it's crazy. But Barbie knew everybody, and you could see that she had this, it was very close and established relationship with other individuals, and I didn't know who Barbie was at the time. But then I quickly learned, okay, she assists. She pretty much manages the schedules of authors. Now, my first experience with a PA was with Amanda, and like you say, Barbie, she dropped sign-ups, she dropped like you said, opportunities. Like, she was just sending stuff to me. I had questions, she answered the questions, she created graphics. My first graphic came from Amanda. Amanda, what are your thoughts about your role as a PA and how you work with authors?
Well, first off, I think that there's a huge difference, like Barbie said, about the difference between a PA, VA, and promoter. As a PA, it's once again a super personal relationship. My authors know that they can call me, they can text me. I've met with them in person at events. I've traveled with them. I've been the right-hand man at events. I've helped them set up their tables. I've helped them at signings. I've done a lot of stuff. A virtual assistant is a little bit behind the scenes with the same abilities as a PA. They're just more behind the scenes and more quiet. They're still your right-hand man. They're still going to do everything you need them to do for a virtual assistant. A promoter is more of what I call a marketing manager. We do social media marketing. We set everything up on a different level. Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, MeWe, blogs. Don't ever forget your blogs. They're very important. But we help do those things and get that stuff out to each of the authors.
Thank you. Now, your mic was a bit, it was choppy, but I got what you were saying. And you kept saying, we do. Do you guys function in the different roles? Katara, you said that you're more of a promoter, but you do engage in PA duties. Do you guys all kind of shift and do different things?
Yeah. Oh, were you asking? I'm sorry, you were asking Barbie and Amanda?
No, I'm asking whoever wants to jump in and go with it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I do different, like you just said, I shift and do different things depending on what the author asks me to do. I've even worked with Barbie. I think I've worked with Barbie a number of times, I think. And we talk about our author clients, and we do our marketing, and we do we can ask each other questions about how do I advertise this or market this on this specific platform. I know that Barbie had a great graphic from an author that we were both promoting at the same time, so I was able to use hers. So yeah, we just like you just said, we shift into different things. I know I've done takeovers for some authors. I've worked to see who has, just like Amanda was saying, who has what are those called? Facebook parties and takeovers. So it just depends on what the author wants and what are they looking for. And as you know, I'm sure, Brooklyn, that each author can advertise a different way. Different ways work for different authors.
What if a new author doesn't know? So you've mentioned a couple of things. You've talked about parties, takeovers. What if someone is watching or listening and they have no idea the scope or the magnitude of the different opportunities that are available to them? Do you guys educate or provide information to authors as to what can be done?
Yes. It depends on if they ask, then yes. Or sometimes I'll suggest something just because another author will come to me and say, do you have any of your clients want to sign up for my takeover or sign up for my blog hop or something like that? Then I'll suggest it to other authors and everything, just so they can get different experiences on what is out there. and what may or may not work for them.
Barbie, you were going to say something?
I agree with Katara. But I would actually take it a step further and sit down and have a conversation with the author, because I don't know your needs. Example, you may have a new book coming out and you may not get, let's say you don't have an art team set up, or maybe you use Booksprout as your art team. So getting, it's just you need to have a conversation and see what are your needs, how I can fit your needs and make you succeed. Because at the end of the day, I'm working to make you more successful, and I want to make sure that I'm doing all that I can to make you more successful, because I'm a reader at the end of the day, and it's like you only get like one chance to make a impression. So the better the impression, the better we can step up your author game, the better, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I follow you. I know exactly what you're saying. Basically, that first impression is what matters. And you feel as if you're within your role as a PA, your job is to help the author to make that critical first impression.
Yes. Like you have so many needs, and I understand that, but a conversation between us and will really help me define your needs and help me tell you what you need to know about running, example, an art team, running a takeover, doing this particular blog hop or event.
Okay. Amanda, did you have anything to add?
Well, I remember our conversation when we first started. You had no idea what a takeover was. And I sat down and explained that from top to bottom. I was like, girl, I got you. Let me run this, and you can just sit back and watch what we do, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, it was totally just about getting the books out there and having those conversations and breaking it down for the author specifically and how things run for each different platform and each different thing that the author may need. And it's always good to let everything out at front, so that way they know what they may need in the future as well. They may not need it at that moment, but just to know that it's out there and available for them to proceed with that in the future.
And I will say Amanda spoiled me, because she's right. I had no idea what a takeover was. She did it for me, and now like that's the expectation. I'm like, can you do it for me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And then the one time I tried to do one, I felt like I sucked. And it was just like, you know what? I'm just going to leave that to the professionals. So yeah, I am very spoiled. I'm like, I just want to write books. Can you do this for me? So yes. So thank you guys. So how many books do you think an author needs? Like, is there a minimum amount of books that you would say an author should have before they need a PA? So for example, when I had my debut, I was fine. I was all over the place. I was promoting my book. And then when I got to 2 books, I was like, okay, I think I can handle it. By the time I got to 4 books, I was like, there is no way that I can write book 5 and be on social media and do this and do that. So you guys, is there a set amount of books that an author should have before they consider your services? And we can start with, Amanda, I don't know if you're up to talking again. Your mic is still sketchy, but what's happening with your mic? It's like you're talking and it cuts out and then it speeds up. So we get what you're saying, but it's a bit like staticky or messy. But what are your thoughts about
too, Brooklyn?
It's
sketchy as well.
Am I?
I wondered if your laptop is in the right, if it's affecting everybody.
Okay, you know what it could be? It's bad. There's bad weather outside.
Okay.
Let me get to another internet connection. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump onto my hotspot.
Okay. I think that's why we're all coming and
Yeah,
sketching.
thank you for that. I didn't realize it was me.
No problem. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't go farther in life.
Okay.
And that just while she's doing that, that's what, to me, that's what a PA does. A PA helps you to go further in life. Like they help you to actually do the wonderful ideas that you think about, but you're just not capable of balancing enough things, or at least you think you're not. Because sometimes the PA comes and says, "Oh, you can take more on your plate if you move this over here and this over there, and you put this right here." So my attraction to PAs or VAs or promoters are that they establish order and they bring order.
I agree. I think there is never any time earlier for a PA to have a PA. I think book 1 is the right place to start. Book 3 is the right place to start. Just depends on the author and when they feel it may meet their needs at that point in time. But it's never too early to start with a PA. And some of us, like my main packages start at like $25 a month. So that way that fits that first book. And then we just grow from there. And like I tell my authors, we can always increase or decrease to your needs every time you need something. We'll just work with you because that's what we're here for, is to help them grow in their career.
So Lindsay hit us with the shameless plug, and I've already signed up. Did you see me? I just turned in my application.
So is it better? Am I better? Okay, awesome. Okay, so I heard what Amanda said, basically that it depends on what the author needs. Did any of you other guys want to jump in with what you think?
I just agree. You can the sooner the better. If you want to start, it's always a good thing to market your first book. To start marketing as soon as you can. That's how I see how my clients do, and how they get their word out. Once you start with, once you get another, like let's say if you have 2 books, then if you want, you can have it, and it's up to you. Different situations work for different authors, but you can have your VPA promoter work on 1 book while you work on the other, or you can have her do 2 while you do 1. So it all depends on what you feel comfortable doing. But there's never it's always good to start with your first book. Market your first book out. That's always a good thing.
I agree with Katara and Amanda. But I've seen authors use like they're really close fans. I personally believe it's a mistake because you're asking a reader, not a professional, not nobody that's you've seen their work on social media. That's kind of how I started as well. But I already knew how to use Twitter when I first started, or the tweet deck. And it was just me inserting tweets. And then from there, I would keep on with my normal day. And that's how I started in the PAVA system. And then from there, I just started to learn how to make forms for author, how to make just like little things that I would see on social media, and I would be like, I want to know how to make that. And I would go to a marketing class specifically for authors, and I would sit there and I would write notes, and I would be like, okay, so let me see how I can do this. I would experiment. But I think my main thing is I agree with both of the ladies, Katara and Amanda. It's the first book is the perfect time to start learning how to market, how to work with PA VAs, and just making sure you're not just picking a random person just because they're your fan. Just make sure that you've seen their blog work, or uh, you see that they're in a lot of Facebook groups as well. Sorry, I just had to add that.
No, that's perfect. So I hear you, Barbie, you're saying that you've actually done some professional development. So it started off as you saw a need, you started off as a reader, and then you saw a need, but I heard you say that you've actually taken classes. So ladies, are there professional development courses that you've taken, or what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses within your role? If you had to kind of, talk about those.
That's a good question. That's actually good. What Barbie brought up, I actually started similar to how Barbie was, or I was on a street team of two authors, and we were promoting and everything. And one day I was talking to another VPA, and while I'm waiting in line with my son at Wendy's, we're going back and forth talking and everything. And I'm doing a little bit of promoting. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I love doing this anywhere, as you can see. So why, I need to look more into it. And then how I learned was I was I guess you can say an intern, if you will, for another VPA promoter. Yeah, for a promoter. And we got paid half of what I would get paid, of course, but we would promote. And that's how I learned that just doing that for probably, it was a while I did it with her, a few months. And so I know that's how, that's my strength, is promoting and getting that word out, because I did that on and on and on and more, and I worked for less, and I didn't really mind it at all. My strength, that's a strength. The strength is just, I'm very, and I think I was telling this before, with Barbie and somebody else, I'm very patient with authors. I understand, because I'm in that I don't want to say craft, but in that interest, I'm patient with them, understanding their needs. Versus if an artist comes to me, I've actually turned down artists on my podcast because I'm not patient with them, and I know I'm not. I'll get impatient with them when they get needy, or they get this, or they get detailed, or picky. Versus if an author comes to me, I'm fine with it. So I know that's my strength, is patient. Well, it's my strength, and my something I need to work on is patience with authors is a strength, but other creatives, I'm a little not impatient, but the tolerance level is lower, significantly lower. I just like Barbie, and Barbie has recommended some courses. I know that I need to take more courses if I want to do more of a VPA role, for instance, newsletters, or I want to take more courses if I want to do graphics, because I know that's a low side. And usually the authors, my author clients, give me great graphics, such as Brooklyn. So I don't, they see the authors, my clients spoil me. So I don't, sometimes I have put trying to design graphics to the side, because my author clients bring me to that, such great graphics. So I know that I need to work on that. So that's where I'm at. I'm at just improving skills one step at a time.
Well, another shout out to Amanda, because like I said, she was the one who introduced me. She was like, "Where are your graphics?" This is 2 years ago. I'm like, "What are graphics?" And she was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll do it." And then I just see this amazing graphic. And then I was like, "Okay, let me," because I'm the type of, I guess, author. I'm very shy about asking too much, because I know you guys are so busy. So Katara, as my promoter, I'll give you stuff. I'll create a graphic. Thanks to Amanda, I know what they should look like. I know the function that they serve. So I now know how to do it. So you got any of you other guys, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are some of the courses or the professional development opportunities that you have taken advantage of? And before you say, I have a question that I'm going to put on the screen, but I just want to hear what you guys say about that.
I started out as a as with the other street team. Somebody invited me, and they were like, "Oh, here, check out this book. We're having a party." And from there, I joined the street team, and then I was like, "Oh, well, this is cool. I'm helping support people." And so I joined several street teams because I just liked promoting. And then from there, I was like, "Wait, I can get paid for this? Okay." And so I was like, "What do I need to do?" And there, unfortunately, isn't a lot of information out there for PAs. In the sense of, well, you can take this class, or this is what you need to do. This is the list of things that you need to learn. It's all just a learning game, basically, and you're always continuing to grow and learn as a PA, VA, and even promoter. Anything in the indie book world, you're just growing constantly. I mean, I even know as my basic graphics when I first started out with Brooklyn, they're pretty shoddy compared to what I can do now. So I'm just happy that I've been able to grow and learn and improve on all of my PA skills. And you're not going to know something. It's just something you're going to have to, oh, well, somebody needs a newsletter. What do I need to do? What platforms run newsletters? We need to do graphics. What programs on my phone can I use to make those graphics or to make them better? Where can I find the free graphics to use? How do I put the book on the graphics? Those kind of things. And you just learn over time as things.
Okay, so one of my weaknesses is time management. I've actually bought a brand new calendar to assist me with that, so that way I can write down everything I need to do and make sure that I also have my PAVA stuff, of course, with my personal stuff as well. Well, I actually have a background in digital video production, so some of the graphic stuff, kind of learned it in school, but I had to relearn it once I became a VA, PA. I've taken some Romance Writers of America classes, Inksters Con. I've looked through other PAVAs, what they've done, so that way I can be a better PAVA. I think that it's super important for me to make sure I'm up to date on what's happening with social media, because a lot of the indie community is based in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that other good stuff. And the more classes that I take, the more new things that I find out that I can do or figure out that I can do for my authors. For example, I've also joined author groups just so that way I can read what's going on in those author groups, and see what are they using to do the ads that they do on their Facebook page. Then I can take that and give that to my clients and say, here's a little snippet of, your audiobook because of this particular app. So always learning, always growing.
Yeah, and I think that's what we do. Even as authors, we learn, we grow, we get better. Like Amanda said in the beginning, her graphics were shoddy compared to what they are now, and that's how it is. The more you stay in a field, or the more you go at it, the better you get. This is a question from Jayla. Jayla said she is actually interested in hiring a PA, but as a newbie, she can't afford it. How does someone get started if they have a limited budget?
I will go first. So I actually, because I didn't have the experience that I do now to be able to charge someone what I charge now, I offered my services for free to build up my repertoire and my reputation and to grow and learn myself. So I would do PA skills or VA skills in exchange for books. The author would give me e-copies of her books, and I would do my services for that. Or she would send me like a swag pack once a month with some stickers or goodies or just even candy, and we would just build up off that, you know.
I have to agree with Amanda. But of course, we have to have that conversation. If you can't pay me, then okay, I'll trade you an ARC. I'll trade you swag. I'll trade you print copies. But we would really have to have that conversation of what do you need? Because I can do newsletters, I can do art team management, I can find you opportunities, but it would just be based on what do you need in order to succeed right now. And then from there, you know, every couple of months have a conversation on where you're going, what do you see the future like, etc., etc.
I just want to jump in here to say, as an author who hasn't utilized any of your services, but I have sold 200 and something books since August. In my 2 books that I released, I actually flew to Bermuda, and so I did the like one-on-one sales, which actually ended up being very financially productive. But what I will say is this: when you show people that what you're going to give them is going to produce revenue, all of a sudden they find money. And I think that it's one thing to be spending money and not believing you're going to get a return. But if you have books already just piled up in your closet, you're already kind of losing money in the first place. So I think I like what Barbie says. I think it's more about perspective. I think it's more about, you know, really having that conversation to let the person know, like, hey, I might do this for free for 1 month, but once you see where you're going, then we're going to assess from there. Because at the end of the day, you guys know your craft, right? You know that what you do works. And so I just think that people get afraid, just to respond to the question, I believe it was Jayla. I believe people become afraid of new opportunities. Sometimes new opportunities have a price tag, but if the price tag pays you a larger price tag, then it might be something you want to embark on. So don't be afraid of the dollar sign.
And if I could just piggyback on that also, I have learned in my 2 years of publishing, it takes money to make money. And so I am not afraid to invest. I call it an investment. You know, you do your research, but you have to, in order to scale up, and this is my experience, you have to invest in yourself. And sometimes that looks like putting money into something, even if you don't have it. It's kind of like, you know, the stock market or investing. You take a risk of sorts. I'm going to pay Amanda $25. I'm going to pay Barbie $100 because I expect that at the end of the month, I'm actually going to have made $200. So there's a risk involved when it comes to scaling up and leveling up. And so Jayla's got another. She says, right now I'm doing it myself. She's learning as she goes. And of course, she's making mistakes as she goes along. She said, I'm not afraid of investing. I'm afraid that the investment won't yield the return. That's a
Can I
great
jump
one.
on that? Can I jump on that? The self-help author, so this excites me. So the way I look at it, the scary part is actually wasting time sometimes trying to do what someone else can do in moments. And so maybe you could be working on something else that will produce guaranteed revenue with the time you get back by bringing on a team player. So you got to consider time is also a form of revenue.
So the time is money. Katara, you're going to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just in great points all around. There's some, and I'm not talking about the author who just asked the question, but some authors they ask. I know one asked me, well, if you get I I use you and I don't get any sales, do I get my money back? And I said, no. This was, when I first started out. And I said, no, because not just because it's not, everything is not going to be at that set time, for one, just like it was mentioned. So like I may advertise for that author, and then months later I'm getting likes on a post that I did 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And then that sales grow up because of just the way the schematic says on Facebook and the other social media sites, and just how customers are. And it's not a guarantee, so to speak, but you're still investing it, like Brooklyn, you said, and everyone else said, you're still investing in that person. I mean, you're still investing, excuse me, in your works, and you want your book out there. If people are 9 times out of, a lot of times people aren't buying your books because they don't know that you're out here. You know how many times I had to say that to some authors, and not like that, of course. I'm saying just keep promoting, because people don't see it. You have to promote 7 times for one person to see it. That's how it is. So it's not a guarantee. If you go into a brick and mortar store and I say, hey Barbie, can I buy your hair dye? Yeah, you're gonna see that Barbie's gonna see the what is that, the profit more sooner, because that's brick and mortar. With authors and stuff, it's a little bit different on certain times. So it's just about what you're comfortable with, and just like Barbie and Amanda says, when I first started out, I would offer to some, not all, but some authors a week free of promoting, to see what they think of my promoting skills, or, to see what they think. I did that for a little bit. I did some barter exchanges, because I love to read. So, so it all depends. But like ladies, you guys brought up a great point. The first month, that's okay, but the next month, you'll get a feel for what you want, and like you said, it is an investment in yourself, in your work.
And something else, to kind of piggyback on what Katara has said and what everyone has said, I think a lot of it, these guys, we hire them to push a product that we've already created. If I have a book that has a book cover that is not good, it doesn't matter how many social media platforms these guys put it on. If the book cover sucks, if it doesn't relate to the genre, that has nothing to do with Katara or Amanda or Barbie. That's me as the author. If it's not appealing, if there's something that doesn't look right and people are just not interested, that doesn't speak necessarily to the PA's skill sets. Perhaps it's something that I need to drill down at a lower level to say, am I writing a good book? Is my cover genre specific? So there are so many factors that come into play. But again, the big part, at least for me, is, Katara said it, Your book has to be out there for people to know that you exist. The book has to be out there, you know. So you guys, is there is it okay for an author to have more than one PA or VA, or what are you guys' thoughts about that?
Uh-oh.
Definitely. More author has, the more ability they are to increase their of and having a team. You can have our team, and that's all of their entire focus into that. You've got somebody who's a promoter, and that's yours to get that all that stuff out. Your street teams. Having more than one K is definitely an asset. You can afford that, so be it. We are always happy to work together and become that soul team, because we all have the mindset that we are there to help author grow, regardless of us. It's
I'm okay with working with other people. It's a group effort to make somebody successful.
Yeah, working with other people, like the ladies just said, it only makes the author better and more sales and more marketable and more seen. If you have more than one, as at least that's what I see, and then your promoters, VPAs, and PAs can get together and work together on certain things and say, okay, this works here, but this doesn't work here, or this works here, this works here. I know me and Barbie has a few clients, who we have the few same clients, and I see Barbie advertising in this book group that I'm not in, and I'm sure she's seen me advertising in a book group that she's not in, or she does a skill that's different from me and I do it different from her, and then we can learn from each other. So it's just a win-win.
And honestly, I know my strengths and weaknesses. So if, let's say, for example, one of my weaknesses is I suck at promoting in Facebook groups. It's honest. I have no problem and no qualms admitting it. But if I know Katara is strong, I'll bring her in. She gets money, I get my money. We're just trying to make sure, we're able to pay our bills. Because I know where my strength lies: graphics, figuring out how to use different items on social media, and art teams and other stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. If somebody who is strong here, I'm gonna pull them in, give them that job.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I was saying, how did we find you guys? 2 years ago, I don't even remember how I found Amanda. I really don't remember. Katara was recommended to me by another author, the same with Barbie. How does an author find you guys?
Well, I know I found you because you were promoting your first book, The Maid's
Daughter.
Yeah, The Maid's Daughter. I'm still waiting for the sequel for that.
It's coming. I actually have the cover and everything. It's coming.
Yay! I'm so excited. As you can see, I'm a reader first. I'll be honest, I'm a reader first. So I was looking at Brooklyn's first book, and I'm like, oh my god, are you an IR author? She's like, what's IR? Interracial author. and then we just had like an hour-long conversation because I've read The Maid's Daughter, and I have to reread it again if Brooklyn gives me the 2 books that I need. And she's laughing about it. But I reached out to Brooklyn, and honestly, I'm really happy with the last couple years because I've learned a lot and I've grown. And I'm excited to see what the future brings as well. But I think it's just you can tell who's a promoter and who's a VAPA in Facebook, in the author Facebook groups.
So is there go ahead, Amanda, you've unmuted.
Yeah. I believe somebody suggested me you is how we found each other, if I remember correct. And I was like, heck is IR racial romance? I was like, what is this? And I was like, okay, now I know. And then I had to figure out what kind of tags to use to promote Brooklyn's books, because I was like, I need those to sell her books. And I was like, all kinds of new stuff I learned just working with them, which was so much fun. I believe I met you, I think it was when you were doing We, was it? Like you had just done We, and you were working on SWAT and the other one, I can't remember
Coup.
the second one. But yeah, but a lot of us get, there's PA groups now where authors can search to find a PA. I personally rely on word of mouth. Somebody tells an author about my services, and then they contact me, or I'll even post on my Facebook page now.
Did she say look at her Facebook page? Listen, Brooklyn, did you hear her, Clara? Would you be able to summarize what she said?
Well, that I'm wondering if it's just me, because when she speaks, it sounds robotic.
Yeah,
So
no, it sounds, yeah, and it's sad because I feel like everything, she's breaking up. We're all breaking up, but she's breaking up the most. And I feel like you're saying some amazing things, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, like, how do I call this PA? And it's like, you can call me at blah, 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 and maybe blah, 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 blah. So when the live is over, please drop down your information in the chat, please. And let us all know how to reach you on the Facebook, because all I hear is you can hit me at da 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 da. I'm like, is this a tease? I don't understand.
So question, just I guess a technical, is it just me that can't hear Amanda, or is Katara Barbie, is it breaking up for you? Am I breaking up right now?
Everybody's breaking up today.
Okay. And
I
the
don't know
weather is
why.
horrible here in Bermuda, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
So maybe we're gonna have to redo this next month as well, a sequel, because everybody's breaking up, and I feel like this information is so good.
Wow. Amanda said there's on Facebook there's a PA looking for authors groups, or VAs looking for author groups. I do know an event in Florida that is going to be hosting a mini conference for PAs and VAs. It's called Space Coast Book Lovers. You guys want to check that out? But mainly there's a lot of Facebook groups with PAs and VAs looking for, and authors looking for PAs and VAs as well.
Okay, so what I'm definitely, thank you, Barbie, for summing that up, because what I'm gonna have to do is listen back when we finish. And Amanda just messaged me to say it's snowing outside where she is, because I can hear everybody else. Okay, it was just Amanda, so she's gonna try to come
It's
back
snowing
in.
where I am too, so there's a lot of breaking up. It's snowing
Okay,
in
okay,
Indiana as well.
okay, yeah, because you're sketchy as well. So as we're coming on to the end, but you guys, you've talked a bit about social media. You've talked about Facebook. I heard Twitter. What about Instagram? What social media platforms are best for authors who are looking to get their work out, in your experience?
My experience, the best is Facebook. I've seen. I've actually that's how what I've seen. Instagram is getting a little better as well as Twitter. But I see most of the sales or most of authors getting recognition in Facebook for now. It could change, any day now, of course. But that's where I see it the most.
So Amanda, you've just come back on. I was asking which social media platforms lend best to authors looking to promote their work. Barbie, if you had anything to add, or even Amanda, what are your thoughts about which social media platforms are best?
I have to agree again with Katara. I think Facebook group is a good place, but I'm starting to see a lot of authors look at like newsletters from independent companies. Like, I'm not gonna recommend BookBub because they are super expensive, but I'm seeing a lot of different email based marketing going on. But I definitely have to agree, Facebook is gonna dominate still. Instagram a little bit more, but slowly.
And just to say, because in my course that I kind of talked about in the beginning, when I talk about marketing, I talk about the importance of knowing, first of all, who your target reader is, and then knowing where they are. So for the romance genre, well, first of all, Facebook is like you guys said, the most prominent social media platform. Twitter is actually at the bottom of the ladder. But if you're writing romance and you're catering to 18 to 65-year-old women, they are on Facebook. And I talk about Instagram as a means of marketing. So it might work to put your book up on Instagram as an advertisement. With Twitter, it's more about those quick hits, just connecting with readers, not necessarily marketing. So they do have different functions. So it's good to hear you guys say that, Facebook is the primary location. And I see, Amanda, you're nodding. What is your experience with the different social media platforms?
I get more response on Facebook than anything, I think, because it is such a large platform. I also utilize Twitter, Tumblr, and when there was a lot of issues with Facebook, several authors moved over to MeWe, which is another platform. And then now it's TikTok. I don't know if you all work with anybody that's doing TikTok, but that's something I'm learning.
Good stuff. And what about Pinterest? Because I heard that's useful, but I've not explored it. What do you guys think about Pinterest?
Can I go? Okay. But it's like anything, you have to invest the time. If you're gonna do anything, you have to invest the time to grow your platform. You can't expect your readers to show up on Instagram if you're not gonna put in the correct hashtags or make the time for Instagram. Also, I'm not sure about these emerging applications. I mean, I barely use TikTok. I know that they're emerging, but you want to spend your time in the social media platform you're most comfortable in. And if you're willing to learn Instagram, or take a class on Instagram, take a class on Twitter or TikTok. Just remember, you have to, number one, feel comfortable. Number two, understand it's an investment on your time and brand.
Good stuff. Okay, so what I've taken away, I believe authors need you guys. I have learned that the first book, the debut, that's the perfect time to engage. And I wish that was something I'd known way back then, because I started maybe at book, Amanda, I think you said it was We, Coup, and Trois. That was books 2, 3, and 4. But start now. If you're an author, you're just starting out. And, again, I think the more time we have to write and create, the more product we can put out there. And then these guys, Barbie, Amanda, Katara, they have something to work with. They have something to blast out. So having that team, built around you is very, very important. And we know where to find you. If any authors are looking for a VA, a PA, a promoter, there are Facebook groups. You can simply plug it in the search bar and it'll come up. But I can personally vouch for each and every one of these guests. Katara, she pushes, well, there are certain days that per the contract that she's given me where I see my book all over the place because she tags me in them. And I'm just like, wow, and Amanda, she drops stuff in my inbox, like sign up forms. Barbie is like, where is your ARC team? She's in that group and she's just got her eye on different things. So I can vouch for each and every one of these guys. The prices, in my experience, are great. You guys, I want you to just very quickly let people listening know how they can find you, and if they wanted to engage you, what should they do?
I guess I'll start. I'm on Facebook. That's my favorite application, Barbie Pomales. You can send me a private message, or you can go send me an email to barbiepomales at gmail.com. So that way, we can talk about what you need, talk about what you write, anything else that I should know if we're going to have a relationship, a working relationship. And I can't wait to start your ARC team. Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Okay, so you can just Facebook message me as well, Katara Johnson. Make sure it's Katara Johnson. I also have Katara's Creatives and Katara Martin, but I don't check that messenger that frequently. So message me on Katara Johnson any time of the day or night. I'll check it. That's the fastest way to get in contact with me. And I'll be able to see where I can fit you in. If I have a busy month, I'll see where if I can fit you in or go to the next month. So I'm really easygoing like that, and this has been a great show. Brooklyn and what Brooklyn what we just talked about, that's how I found Brooklyn, because her name must have been in a lot of IR groups, and I started reading her books. I'm not sure if I want a book from her or I just started reading a book, and I guess I have Barbie and Amanda to thank for that, because I've now read a bunch of her books. So it's been good.
Yes, you definitely have Amanda and Barbie to thank for that. And Amanda, how can we get a hold of you?
Through my Amanda Lindsay PA page, or I have an Amanda Lindsay PA VA page that you can reach through as well. Or her email is alindsaypa@gmail.com. gmail.com. And I'll be happy to sit down and chat and see what we can work out for you.
All right, Amanda, drop that email address in the comments because it broke up. Barbie, did you hear her clearly? No? Okay. All right. Amanda, put your email address in the comments so that people can see it, but we can find you on Facebook. Yes, that was that. Okay, so you look for Amanda Lindsay, PA, I guess, on Facebook. She will come up. If you need her, message me and I will get you in contact with her. Okay, I had one more question before we end it. Is there a genre that is better suited for you guys, or do you specialize in any particular genre? That was the question I had. So, yeah.
Well, I like working with romance authors because that's the genre I know. I mean, I can learn other genres as well because marketing is just what I do. I can apply to any genre, but I'm most happy in Romancelandia, as they say.
Sorry. Basically fiction, like Barbie said, romance, paranormal, any type of fiction like that, I'm comfortable in, which is weird because I'm actually working on a nonfiction book. So, but that's I find just through I find different groups I can advertise on, but those are the most of the groups that I'm in. Books for fiction and anything that falls under that category, mystery, urban. I love paranormal fantasy. So that's where I'm most comfortable working in.
And Amanda, I know it's hard for us to hear you, but did you want to speak to any particular genre that you prefer, or what your thoughts are as it relates to genre and PA services? Okay, it looks like she dropped off. Okay, wow. Pardon?
I said she has no thoughts.
Okay, well, I thank you guys so much. This has been a very informative conversation for me. Again, I'm going to listen back just to see what the quality was, because like A Purpose Speaks said, some critical and important information was discussed. I really hope that it translates over well, because authors, these are the questions that we have, and you guys have given us some good information. So hopefully this translates over, but I really want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I guess I'll be talking to you soon, because I pretty much work with everyone that's on the screen right now. So I'm going to do my outro music. And I want to thank everyone. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your week.